Let's go into Trinity here for a second. He went 3-6 last year, 3-4 in conference. John Miller returns as head coach. He's got 8 starters coming back on offense, 9 starters coming back on defense. I kind of look at this team as more of a best center-esque team if you're comparing the Interstate Century to the Big Eight, where they have just a lot of pieces coming back, some more talented than others. The one thing that separates them, I think, is that they are looking at like 4 different guys at quarterback right now, which could get really interesting. Both Caden Colson, who started at quarterback last year, Drew Kane, Micah Finley, Connor Roberts, all have their names in the hat as far as what the quarterback process looks like right now. Who do you think is the leader right now out of those guys? And do you think that this is a situation that even could play itself into the year?
Yeah, I think it could play itself in the year, due to injury or something, even, or just lack of performance. But I think the favorite for sure right now is Colson. He was a starter last year, was impressive for the most part. So him coming back, I think that makes him the favorite. There's still good chemistry. They bring back 7 on offense, counting Colson. I think just I think keeping him back there, I think is the best thing for Trinity right now. So I think he's the favorite, but I could definitely see, if Coach Miller, thinks of lack of performance or, just wants to, test the waters with one of these other guys, I could definitely see that, having an effect throughout the season for the Hillers.
And this was a really young team last year, too. I remember seeing them play against West Mifflin early in the year, and there was just really sloppy play, a lot of turnovers. Offensive line wasn't really synced up very well. There was just a lot of kinks in some of their game plans. Having that experience coming back, especially on defense in this tough conference, is that just going to make them more of a contender heading into the year, maybe for a possible playoff spot?
Yeah, it absolutely is. I'm not saying that they'll beat the likes of TJ or McKeesport or even Bell Vernon, but they might get in that last playoff spot. Facing teams like West Mifflin, Laurel Highlands, and Ringgold, as well as Uniontown. The rest of the conference. So that'll definitely be big. Like I mentioned just a minute ago, they bring back 7 on offense, and they bring back 9 on defense, and that's huge. They bring a lot back everywhere. They bring back 3 in the defensive backfield. They bring back 3 on that D line, and they bring back 2 in the middle. So, or excuse me, 3 in the middle. They bring back all 3 linebackers. So that'll be huge. That defense is going to be definitely big for Trinity, and will definitely help keep them in games and possibly pull out a win here and there.
And you really want to see improvement as well from some of their younger guys like Colson and Drew Kane and Micah Finley, where these are guys that really you want to see them step into their own this year, where you kind of see that burst of maturity from guys entering their second or third year as starters. And this could be that season if they're able to get that from those guys, where they just turn on the Jets, turn it on to another level of their game. I think this could be important. I think in the trenches, there's going to be a ton of improvement from last year heading into this year. Do you think that's an area that they finally have depth and skill in now?
Yeah, for sure. They have depth all across the board, really, especially if you look at that defense, like I just mentioned. So the Hillers are definitely going to be an improving team from last year, and even heading into next year. Trinity, you can look at Trinity having back-to-back playoff appearances, which hasn't happened there in a few years now. So big things could be coming up at the point in Washington for Trinity, for sure.
Yeah, and probably their most talented player is going to be Tyson Brophy on the offensive and defensive lines. He's a guy that's definitely going to create pressure against some of the better lines in this conference. So look out for him. Their most intriguing game, I think, is Week 1 home against Ringgold. If they're able to win that game by a couple double-digit points, that could be really important for them, just building as a team, where you see the transformation of some of the guys heading into their multiple years as starters. So